Welcome back for another edition of Hockey Time Down South podcast. This episode is brought to you by Biscuit Balm, the athlete's choice for muscle and joint pain relief. High Stick Hockey and Big Pete's Chicago Style Hot Dogs, the only authentic Chicago Style hot dog in New Orleans, a true taste of Chicago in the Big Easy. We're the only podcast dedicated to all things hockey in the Gulf South, including both professional and amateur, including the FPHL, NA3HL, and New Orleans hockey. In the show, we're going to have thoughts, facts, and opinions on all things happening in the FPHL South, NA3HL Southeast, and tonight in the New Orleans area. Here, we're going to also talk about probably our favorite NHL teams, personal stories, and we may even have a surprise along the way. Right or wrong, we're going to be giving our listeners honest answers about all things hockey, especially things going on here in the Gulf South. I'm Pete Fricano, color analyst for the Bayou State Rougarou of the NA3HL and Monroe Moccasins, alongside my broadcast partner, Joseph Furtado, with the same credentials, but he went to the prestigious Walter Cronkite School of Broadcasting at the Arizona State University. And also joining us tonight, Ethan Gilbo of the New Orleans Hockey Group. Gentlemen, is it great to be alive, involved with hockey in the Gulf South right now, or what?
Oh, absolutely, man. The time is now. The time is now. It's heating up. We're loving it. I mean, hockey is on the rise down here.
You know, it's always a great time to be involved in hockey, Pete. No matter what time or where you're at in the world, always good to be involved in this sport.
Yeah. You know, in the thing with the New Orleans Hockey Group, they're really big in I mean both ice and inline, and with those right up both of our alleys, right?
Yeah, no, like I said, ice and roller hockey, especially right now, roller hockey, summertime coming up, right? We're in the middle of, we're not in the middle, but just starting April. So roller hockey is going to be continue to kick off here pretty soon, especially like, some Narts tournaments coming up. There's actually one down here in San Jose coming up this weekend. That's the qualifier down at Silver Creek Sportsplex in San Jose. You're going to have tours coming up as well after that. So a lot of roller hockey played here in the coming months.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting hockey. And then we've got our playoff hockey up in Monroe this weekend. Oh, well, not next weekend, but we've got a big series this weekend. But we'll touch on that later. Maybe we won't. However, that being said, this tonight we're all about the New Orleans Hockey Group, and Ethan is with us tonight. There's a couple other guys that may pop in and join us. We'll see how that goes here. But Ethan, welcome in, and what can you tell us about New Orleans hockey?
Well, Pete, Joseph, nice to join you guys. Pretty excited to finally give a little bit more of a spotlight on New Orleans hockey. Outside of the recent news articles we've had and news stories done on us. But a little background on New Orleans hockey, a group that started kind of like a product of COVID, I guess you could say, back in 2020, when a lot of us were kind of sitting around wondering what's the next thing to do. We got to get outside, got to get active. So a couple of us, about 4 or 5 of us, found our way to Crescent Park in downtown New Orleans and started playing street hockey back in 2020. That kind of over the years just started to grow more and more. And then most recently kind of transitioned us into a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So it went from just a couple average Joes playing street hockey out at the park to a full-blown organization that is not only just, again, playing hockey at the park, but we're trying to advocate and show more visibility to hockey down here in an area that is just not used to it. It's football, baseball, basketball, soccer country down here. So anything that's a niche sport like hockey is, not really talked about unless somebody brings it up. So that's kind of what our group is. We're not only, like I said, joining each other on the weekdays and weekends to play hockey, but we're also doing things in the community to try to get our name out there. Because otherwise, you probably wouldn't talk about us if you didn't know about us. So that's kind of where we started and kind of where we are at the moment. Is just kind of a brief overlay of what this organization is.
Yeah, no, I've known you guys now for where are we at here? Where are we looking?
I think we're at 4 years, Pete. I think it was like 2021.
I think it's a little. I think it might be. It was so. If we're looking at COVID at like 20, yeah, maybe like 19, 2019 ish.
It's about. It's been a minute. Let's put it that way.
It's been a minute, and things have really evolved in a positive way and gone full circle. And it's for all of us really, and it's good to see and to be able to bring in try to have a bigger picture, and like Joseph and I were talking too. No better time in the country for hockey than now. Team USA, men and women, both winning gold over Canada. You can't. The iron isn't hotter than it is right now. And I've even I went on one of the school trips with you guys, and just to see, you weren't actually there yet, but the kids, just to see us walking through the hallway with hockey gear, they knew exactly what it was. So they were watching TV. They
Yeah.
knew they were just ecstatic, and it's not the richest community either. And to see that was very refreshing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's been the newest thing that we've done. Like I said, we've been a group for about 6 years now, a real nonprofit the last year and a half, 2 years. But most recently, we kind of want to take the next step to become just more than just beer leaguers, just guys that go and hang out and play hockey. And we kind of start to think, what's the next step? Like, what do you have to do when you're building something from the ground up? Where hockey, yes, was once here at one point in time, but it's been scrubbed completely to where it is a clean slate. So I think our biggest, thing that we needed to do was start to reach out to the kids, start to get the youth involved, and most importantly, start reaching out to schools. A lot of these schools are looking for other activities for their kids to do during PE outside of basketball and baseball and football and the normal stuff. So we kind of partnered recently with another nonprofit organization called the 18th Ward. And their main focus is giving accessibility to multiple sports to kids who probably don't normally have the opportunity to do so. So in partnering with them, that allowed us to come into the schools, and even if it's a 30-minute to an hour session, that 30 minutes to that hour made the world of difference. And you saw that. I mean, you saw the look on their faces because it was something different, and then, because of the way that hockey's played, it's such a nonstop sport at times. And for a lot of those kids, the ability to just be kind of running around and being able to have, a chance to be a part of the play. You can touch the puck. You can be the goalie, you can be a forward, you can be a defenseman, like you can be whatever you want. You have that ability because it's so fresh and new. So I'm glad you brought that up because that's been the newest thing that we're trying to do is get into more schools, host more clinics, get into the, the neighborhoods where these kids that might be sitting on the bench at basketball and baseball and football and want an opportunity to do something different. We're doing that. We're actually giving them that outlet. So that's been the newest update for us. And it's been awesome. We got nothing but great praise from it. And the kids, every one of them said, "Are you going to be back tomorrow? You going to be back the next day?" And we said, "Oh, we're coming. I promise we'll be back."
Yeah, Joseph, we know the kids are definitely where you want to start with all this, right?
Well, yeah, no, for sure. Like I said, that's how you get that. That's how you grow the game, right? You start with the kids, right, and you get them playing hockey, and then next thing you know, they're growing up playing hockey, and then if they continue to take it on, then they're showing their kids hockey. So it's how you grow the sport, right? And that's what we did down in Baton Rouge too. When we were with the Zydeco, Pete. Remember going to all those schools with doing the hockey, learn to play. We did that a little bit in Monroe too, as well, with the mini hockey stuff, right? And getting kids involved, giving out nets, and getting them, an avenue to go play hockey. It may not be in a league yet, but you know what? Hey, they got some mini hockey sticks. They got a couple nets, and we gave some nets away and a couple sticks to some people. Remember, we were hearing some of the fans tell us about, their daughter, growing up in the middle of the night playing hockey, at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
She can't sleep, but she wants to go play hockey. So here she is, and they're watching her on the security camera in their family room playing hockey. So, that's what it's about. That's what you have to do because that's where it starts, right? The kids, and without the kids, you're not going to really grow the sport as much. So if you don't have, the youth hockey already, you're not going to be able to, get to the professional hockey and so on and so forth.
Yeah, even last year too. You remember, right? We had one of the students said that they posted on the Moccasins page, the fan page, about their son was Sean Kuhn was their, he wanted to be a goalie because of Sean Kuhn, and that was Sean. I said I need to get an autographed puck. He signed a puck. I signed a puck for him. We got tickets I got tickets for the family. They're both paramedics. They were having a hard time getting time, but they finally got a day. So I got them the tickets for that game and brought them the pucks and everything. And next thing you know, they're season ticket holders this year. So those are those things. They didn't forget that. They're never going to forget that. I never forgot the first 100%. NHL game I went to. My dad took me to, and he's actually tuning in tonight. It was the Hawks and Penguins. Who would have thought that, huh, Joe? But Larmer had the hat trick, and that was Lemieux's rookie year, and you weren't even born yet, buddy. So
no,
we're gonna go that. I'm gonna hear this all weekend, Ethan. Don't worry. I'm gonna hear the age stuff.
That's way before my time, Pete. But too as well. It's funny because going to school in Arizona as well, and I can't remember if this was when the Coyotes had just folded as an organization. But what they still did there was street hockey for kids and an organization, a program. I did a story on it. It's on my YouTube page. So they go to a local gym on like a Saturday and Sunday. They'd have little board. They'd have NHL little size boards for the kids.
The Border Patrol.
Street hockey nets. They'd give them sticks and jerseys and everything, and then make it a whole organized thing for 10 kids a team. It was ball hockey.
Yep.
And they'd go and they'd play and they'd keep time. They'd have a referee and the kids would run around and play and they'd have numbers and stuff. And it was growing the game. But now how they had different levels to this. They had like a level 1, 2, and 3. And they also had, after you finish that, you can graduate from that stuff and go to the roller hockey and then the ice hockey. I can't remember what it was called. It was something Coyote for a kid. I don't remember the name. But regardless, it was the coolest thing ever. So then I went and did a story out in Scottsdale on top of that. They had an outdoor roller hockey rink, and it wasn't a full roller hockey rink, but in Arizona, an outdoor hockey rink is, that's kind of unheard of. The Coyotes put that together. Coolest rink out there, and it's getting kids involved. So it's a Tuesday night, 6 o'clock, and these kids are playing, outside, getting taught hockey, right? And that's where it starts. Even with the NHL team folding, right, they're still progressing with hockey and still continuing to grow and trying to get that NHL team back, obviously. But again, it all starts with the kids, right? And that's what you got to do. And, like I said, maybe something New Orleans looks at one day, or, trying to get kids into hockey maybe. But, like I said, without the kids, not going to grow.
Yeah, and I think it's a visibility thing. It's a lot of these kids won't know about it unless they see or they hear about these things. And with the ball hockey thing, it's one of the most low risk avenues that you can go down to where the kids don't have to shell out a bunch of money. In fact, the NHL Street program, a lot of that, all the equipment through the NHL Street program is provided for like a fee for whoever the organization is that takes it over. So for instance, I'm working with a park here in Mandeville, Louisiana, that is about to partner with NHL Street. So we can do an NHL Street ball hockey league during the summer this year. So that's, and again, it's low risk. I mean, we're talking about a $1,500, I think it's like $1,500 for like ball, sticks, jerseys, the nets, like the little like street hockey goal set. I mean, but it goes back to, again, visibility, because a lot of these kids, if you go to school tomorrow and you would bring up the word hockey, you'd probably get 9 out of 10 kids that would look at you crazy and be like, what are you talking about? I've never seen it, never experienced it. You might get that one kid who happened to maybe move here from Michigan or Minnesota or something like that. So, but it goes back to when we've done these clinics, these kids are going to school the next day and said, hey, I did this. Hey, look at this picture of me playing ball hockey. And it just gets the conversation started. That's all you need. We don't need, 1,000 kids tomorrow. We don't need 100 kids tomorrow. We literally just need the conversation to get started and be out there. So that way the interest will it'll pile in. That's just kind of how things work, is that you have to put it out in front of people and show them that it works, that it can be a thing. And then from there, the foundation's laid. And once you get down the road 4 or 5 years from now, you're going to remember all those kids that started off playing ball hockey with no skates, no other gear or anything like that. And it evolves into that because you're kind of scratching that itch. They're doing something different and they're enjoying it, and they're going to talk to their friends. And then we can get to the bigger picture of this. You don't know what parents that you meet through this. That's to me is one of the most important things about this is, yes, the kids are super important, but there's so many moms and dads out there that will do anything and everything to make sure their kid can enjoy something. So there's people that we connect with through these clinics that are advocates for what we're doing, that say, hey, I have resources in construction. I have resources in real estate. Like, I would love to help you guys make this a real deal, because at the end of the day, my kid's happy. My kids enjoying themselves. They're loving what they're doing. So I know that I should invest into this. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're building that culture, showing them the bare minimum. This is the very bare minimum. And if you want to go up from there, you can. But here's where we're starting, and we're going to build from there. So that's kind of what it is. Visibility. Start the conversation.
And Ethan, you said it was a street hockey league. That's what it was. I just looked it up right now. So yeah, it was the street hockey thing that they were doing. So that's, you're bringing that back in my mind. But yeah, no, it's that's cool though, doing that down in New Orleans and trying to get to grow the game that way.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to do something, man. You got to start somewhere, because I don't really believe that the conversation about hockey is going to go anywhere unless the people who are actually playing it and doing it are continuously talking about it. The saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Like, I really believe that's kind of what our organization is. It's just that little squeaky wheel where you're like, damn, man, that thing is so annoying. But you know what? I'm going to go fix it. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to find a way to make it better. And I think that's where we are as an organization, is just persistence, continuous, consistent messaging all the time.
Yeah. I wish too, though, for like hockey and like maybe, in the United States, they did it a little bit more. They play it more times during PE and stuff. And, I think you mentioned a little bit too, hockey is interesting because it's one of those sports that, doesn't get brought up. You're typically, playing football, basketball, soccer, or baseball, or something like that at PE. But, they bring the hockey sticks out every once in a while. We did it here at our school every so long. And, being a hockey player, like finally, but you put a hockey stick in those kids' hands, and they're just like, what is this? Because everyone's so used to throwing a football, a basketball, kicking a soccer ball. But then, they're hockey, and then you start playing with people, and then like, oh, this game's fun. It's totally different. It's, you're almost getting a little bit of everything from, football, basketball, baseball, golf, right? Every little bit of everything mixed into hockey. And, it's a cool sport. I mean, that's how I started playing, right? Playing a little bit down at school, and then two girls happened to play hockey. And then next thing you know, I was like, okay, I'm dropping baseball. I don't want to get into football. I want to play hockey now. Like, what? This is the coolest sport. Then you're telling me you could hit people at, a certain age. Sign me up, right? And that's how it starts.
Well, you talked about with the youth, even with the gym class, in high school and junior high, I brought my own stick to school. I'm bringing my own stuff.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm not playing with these plastic goofy sticks. I'd bring my own stuff, and
or I was bending the hell out of that curve, man. I was trying to get that Brett Hall, like Bobby Hall curve.
Oh, you can turn that thing into a 90-degree.
On the shoes and bending them. The teacher's yelling out, "You're gonna break the stick!" No. We're sending curve to it.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
Paying attention.
I snapped one of those times though, which is funny.
Oh, and you get a hold of one of those pucks, and nobody would know what to do with it because he'd be zinging across. Or I'd bring a goalie stick to gym class or something and I would just leave it. I would leave it in the gym teacher's office, and then go use it when I returned for class. But yeah, that's growing up north. That's that's something we were doing there.
It's funny too because like when you play football and stuff, you get all like, especially maybe like high school for playing this or whatever. You got like the football players, the soccer players who are really like, all right, I'm in PE class. I'm gonna start, being really try hard about this or whatever, showing my skills off. And then you go play hockey and you just sauce a puck behind the net and it goes like 5 feet in the air, and the kids are just like, how did you just do that? You know what I'm saying? And even the football players and soccer players are lost at that point because they don't know what they're doing because it's hockey. It's a completely different sport, and then if you add skating on top of that, then everyone's really lost. But, it's a really interesting game, but hockey is so much fun, and it's really cool. People really do, I think, would enjoy it a lot more if it was brought into, more schools and stuff.
Yeah. So Ethan, what do you think the state of hockey is in New Orleans right now? I know you guys are bringing it, and I'm part of the group as well, but I mean, you guys are really doing more right now. I can't do as much as I'd like to. I've got my hands full for another couple of weeks, but I will be more involved with you guys as well. But what are you really doing, to really bring it up to the forefront? And at the same time, what got you guys really wanting to do this finally, ultimately, other than just playing some pickup hockey?
I think it was the interest. I think it was the fact that people kept on showing up. So to elaborate a little bit more on outside just the pickup roller hockey that we do. So we organize tournament teams to go and play in adult league tournaments all around the United States. We'll go to Houston, we'll go to Dallas, we'll go to Florida, Nashville. And we even had a group that at one point in time, Pete, you were a part of, went to Las Vegas and played a roller hockey tournament out in Las Vegas. So what we do as an organization is, of course, yes, we all love to play hockey. I played hockey since I was 6 years old, and I'm actually one of the rare breed of the group, being born and raised in Lafayette, Louisiana. So I've played hockey my entire life in the state of Louisiana from the very beginning when we had a team in 95, 96, all the way up until still today. But what we're trying to do, and really the whole point of why we do these tournaments, why we go and travel, why we have a social media page or anything like that, is the main goal at the end of the day is a facility. One of the things that we lack the most here in New Orleans is a full-time facility, whether that be ice, whether that be roller, whether that be both. We haven't had one since at the last rink I think that was ever in the city of New Orleans was in Lake Forest Plaza Mall back in New Orleans East in the 1980s. If I'm not mistaken, I think it got closed in like 81 or 82, something like that. But that was the last actual ice rink that ever existed, public community ice rink that ever existed in New Orleans. And I think what we were doing over time with all this, added interest, all these guys wanting to go to tournaments. I mean, for instance, the last 2 years we've gone to Houston and brought, 3 teams to each tournament. So, I mean, there's interest here, but I think the biggest question always is, so what's next? What are you going to do? What's the point of all this? Is it just to play hockey? Is it just to, enjoy yourself and get some, activity in and exercise? And it's not. It's a way bigger picture than that. And I think our biggest thing right now is we're looking for space. We're looking for opportunity. We're looking for investors. We're looking for community support to actually get a facility built. There's $1 million question about where you want to put it. There's a lot of possibilities, a lot of obstacles with some of those possibilities between Orleans Parish, between Jefferson Parish, and even up in St. Tammany on the North Shore. So much space and opportunity. But I think for us, what our thing is that we're trying to really get going now is a conversation with either an investing party or a local government party to make this a reality. It's expensive. Hockey is, also not necessarily at the forefront of all this. Even though our name is New Orleans Hockey, it doesn't mean that hockey is the only thing. Like, when we talk to investors, when we talk to city leaders, we don't say hockey rink. We say community rink, because this is much bigger than just hockey. Hockey tends to be a byproduct of all this, meaning that we use the same space that a figure skating group would use, or that a roller derby group would use, or even indoor lacrosse, futsal, which is a form of soccer. Those guys use those same areas that we use. So I think what our thing is now is that we have to have these serious conversations with interested parties that are willing to help, because this is not cheap. This is not easy. It never will be easy, but with a village, with enough help and support, I think that, coupled with the interest we already have between the adults and the youth, we need a space. We are, in a sense, running on borrowed time. We currently don't know the status of the teams next year in Louisiana, and more so particularly we're talking about Baton Rouge and then the team in Mississippi. We don't really know what's going to happen, whether or not those teams come back next year. We play at the Wharf, which is in Crescent Park in downtown New Orleans, which is technically a part of a major renovation plan for a whole riverfront park. We don't know what's going to happen to the area that we play at. We don't know how much longer we'll play there. And also our group on top of that is growing by the day. Just for instance, tonight we had a pickup skate down in downtown New Orleans at the park, 16 guys and a goalie. That's just on a regular Wednesday night at 6:00 at a park with a covered area with no boards. It's not a real rink. It's just concrete. So it keeps growing and growing, but you're going to get to a point, I think, as an organization where you have to have that outlet. There has to be the release valve. All that momentum can't get built up and then you have nowhere to go. So I think that what we're trying to do is talk with as many people as we can, get our name out there, use the visibility to our advantage, and have these legitimate conversations with the powers that be to make this happen. Because I believe it could be successful. I have no doubt in my mind, with the amount of people that have expressed interest, the people that are even, kind of lurking in the shadows, that kind of, I don't know if I want to go out there yet. I'm not ready. You guys don't really have a rink. Like, we can cater to them too. Like, we want to be able to be, welcoming to everybody. Everybody should have the ability to be a part of the group, to experience hockey for what it is. But yeah, that's kind of where we are, is like, we have to find what's the next step. Where are we going to go next? How can we take this to the next level?
Yeah, and these are all great questions, and it's like as you said, it's a facility. We really need a multi-sport facility, something that we can cater to everybody. And we've had this conversations too. We've got the roller derby. We got the women's roller derby here in New Orleans. Lacrosse is so big down here as well. Indoor soccer, it kind of goes on and on and on. You go ahead and do floor hockey in it. Let the kids start with floor hockey, and then, so you don't do roller yet, but now you've got boards and glass and a place for them to play, a safe environment where it's a structured hockey rink now.
I'm glad that you said that, because that is the biggest point about what we're doing right now. And when it comes to growing the organization, it's about safety and it's about having an organized place and area to play. Something that, again, caters to safety, but also caters to like progress, guys being able to go out and get better skate after skate. One of the problems that we have right now is that we have a huge mix of talent. We have guys that have played as high up as, minor pro. We have guys that have played club college hockey, but then we have guys that maybe just started a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago. And so when you have such a wide range and mix of talent, it does make it hard to continuously grow, because I know a lot of your, inexperienced guys, your novice guys, when they come in right off the back and they jump into a pickup roller hockey skate, and if you got 10 other guys who know how to skate and can move around pretty well, it can be slightly intimidating, especially for somebody just learning the sport and really wanting to get comfortable in their own skin and skate in their skates and with a stick and everything. It's a whole different animal when you're out there and you're thrown to the wolves. So I think with that being said, and having a facility, I mean, that's how you're able to cater to all these different, skill levels. I can have a novice skate in the morning. I can have a little bit more experienced skate later in the day. I can have a learn to skate program for guys that want to come in and can grab gear or use gear temporarily to learn the sport in a safe environment where there's no pressure. There's nobody breathing down their neck. There's nobody on the bench saying, man, you've been on the rink for 4 minutes. It's time to get up, man. Or like, hey, you haven't passed the puck. Like, no, we need to do what we can that way anybody that wants to hop in, put on a pair of skates, grab a stick, can play. That's how we grow this. And those are our bread and butter. Those novice guys, those guys that are starting all this from the ground up, they are the moneymaker. They are the ones that can make this facility actually happen, because they're going to be some of the most passionate people about it, because they're excited about learning something new.
Yeah, it's and it's you don't have to worry about the people say, well, you could skate anywhere, but safe, right? Where can you go that's safe? You're not going to be skating in there and there's broken glass. No, you're in an environment that's made for this specifically, and it's going to be structure. So the structure and safety is so key with all this, and getting the kids with the fundamentals, and that's what you guys are doing right off the jump, is trying to get everybody involved and learn it from the grassroots up, and doing it the right way. I mean, you're targeting the youth and the adults.
Yeah.
And then, all your goals are all positivity. So, ultimate goal. What is the ultimate goal other than a facility? Because obviously that's kind of really, really the key. Yeah. What's the ultimate goal for the New Orleans Hockey Group?
I think to get back to where we once were. And what I mean by that is where hockey once was from 1997 to about 2005. Back when we used to have the New Orleans Brass semi-pro team that played in the ECHL, back when we had the CCHL, which was an adult roller hockey league that was based out of the Airline Skate Center that had hundreds of kids and adults that were a part of it. At one point in time, we had the roller rink up here in Madisonville on the North Shore that had a whole league set up for that. Even at that same time, Tulane University had a club hockey team. Loyola University had a club hockey team. UNO had a club roller hockey team at that point as well. So I think what we're trying to do is get back to establishing that foundation and establishing the different divisions and the different logistics with it, meaning that we want to have a youth organization, then we want to have that adult organization. Then also on top of that, and like I've told you and some that don't know, I coached the Tulane Club University team. I just took that position over last year, and it's a grassroots thing, man. We got kids, even though that come in from the Northeast, that have a lot of talent. You're starting from the ground up, especially with no facility. You're kind of building a culture and convincing these kids that, hey, I need you to hop in the car and travel to the nearest ice rink, which can be 2 hours away or an hour and a half away, depending on Biloxi or Lafayette. And I need you to help me build this team and build it from the ground up. So I think that's what we're trying to do, is we want to establish these different leagues, your youth, your adult, your high school leagues. We had high school roller hockey that was here. I played 4 years of high school roller hockey in Lafayette. That was some of the best time I've ever had. I mean, the stands were packed for games. It was super competitive. All the kids were good. I mean, we grew up playing with each other. So it was great to experience. So I kind of want to take a lot of what I learned living in Lafayette, seeing that hockey scene grow through the years, and still to this day, having a junior team in the Drillers, having adult hockey still growing it with different organizations like the Acadiana Veterans Group, which is another 501c3 nonprofit. There's a new women's organization, a women's hockey organization in Lafayette now, which is awesome. So it's just, we're starting to grow and everything in Lafayette, and I'm seeing that in the state, and I'm seeing it up in Monroe with the youth organization. I think that what we're trying to do is similar to those, but we're trying to take a page out of everybody's book and mold it into what we feel is best for down here. And again, it goes back to having youth hockey, having adult hockey, high school hockey, club college hockey, because we have Tulane, LSU's but about 2 hours away from here, and they have a club team as well. So I think that's what we want. We want to have a defined organization coupled with a facility that not only puts on all these different leagues for different age groups, but then you have other things like your Learn to Skate programs. You have individual sessions and training, maybe with guys that are in the area, because, New Orleans is such a melting pot city. We've got a lot of guys with experience down here that would jump in immediately to teach a clinic for 4 or 5 guys just to work on edge work or to work on shooting or passing or anything like that. So we just want to structure it again, like everybody else. This is not reinventing the wheel. All right. Hockey is everywhere else around the United States. We just have to find what's the right things that are going to work down here, because, Pete, it's a different type of animal down here in the South. It's just, people are very hardwired in their certain ways. And, when you introduce something new like this, a lot of people will shun it when they don't know anything about it and they're not really willing to learn much about it or do anything with it. They'll kind of just push it away. And our job is, we want to continuously press in that, because eventually one of those people will say, you know what, I'll give it a shot. I'll come see. I'll come check it out. I'll get the conversation started. I'll tell my mom about it, tell my dad about it, my son, my daughter, whoever. Like, I'll let people know about it because they were so consistent in their messaging. They just wanted me to get in the door. So that's what we want. We want a structured league structure. We want what everybody else has. I just think that we have to do some things a little bit different down here than elsewhere, just because it's different. It's different in New Orleans. Very different. It's hard to even explain to you how it is, but it's different.
Yeah. Oh, and we know this place is a whole different animal all by itself. Being a one-time tourist to be a native now. I mean, as native it's going to be. I've been through a Cat 5, so call me grandfathered in. But I guess one of my questions was going to be why now, but I guess the answer to that's automatically is why not. And you touched on it too. I thought about the kids. There were so many of the kids too that seemed, when we went to the Homer Plessy school, were a little skeptical. And then when they saw the other kids, they were like, wait a minute, whoa, what did I just miss out on? Yep. And they were chomping. Like, you remember I brought some of my gear with, and some of the kids were like messing with my goalie pads, like looking those. We had one kid.
Yeah, we had the one kid in full gear, ready to go.
Yeah, so this kid, he was a bigger kid, and honestly, I believe he was nonverbal, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, okay. So we kind of kept an eye on him a little bit, and I helped him put his pads on, because he wanted the goalie gear. He wasn't messing around, so he put the goalie pads on. He was trying to put my leg pads on his elbows, which is fun, but we quickly changed that. But he put the Franklin stuff on, and I showed him how to put his pads on. Well, then that one little girl, she wanted to play later, and he was helping her put a set of pads on.
Yep.
I'm like, wait a minute, and kid was stopping everything, which is funny as all get out.
And he was excited every single time that he stopped something. Like, he felt like he was doing something, man. Yeah. Like that's the big thing, is that you give the kids the opportunity to do something. Like, instead of standing around, like, you're doing something new. And like you said, a lot of those kids are hesitant at first because, again, it goes back to something that's unfamiliar, something you're not really used to. You're kind of a little nervous about it, or a little shy about it. But then once you see everybody else getting into the mix and they're enjoying it, they're laughing, having a good time, you instantly want to get back into it. And that's what they did. And I think that kind of just rolls over into what we're trying to do, is that visibility, showing kids that you're doing this. Their friends are going to see this and they're going to say, I'd love to be a part of this. Why not? I mean, you're having fun, you're laughing, playing, enjoying yourself. Like, I think this would be a great thing for us too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a lot of fun. I look forward to doing it again. as soon as I get a little bit of time and you guys have some more dates and everything, I'm definitely all in with that. That was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
There's some more stuff I'd like to do with it as far as trying to get some more media stuff out with it as well. But it's sometimes we're pinched for electrical or some power sources. But thanks to Joseph, I've got more involved in this stuff as well, because I would have never in my life thought I'd be in this position doing any of this crazy stuff at all.
Game in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, it all comes down with, hey, why don't you come up to the booth and broadcast with me for a game?
I remember asking you that question. That's how long ago that was in my brain.
I about fell over and died because public speaking is not my strong point. Was not my strong point. And I'm like, oh, absolutely not. And then I did the one game and it scared the hell out of me. And then I did another one. It was like, by the third game, we actually kind of got a little camaraderie. And then I even remember last year early on when I kind of jumped you on a goal call and you did everything but smack my hand out of the way like I was a bad little kid trying to grab a candy bar. And you're like,
no, I think you were trying to grab something on the audio board. I don't know what it was.
I don't know, but I remember we went to commercial.
Yeah, and because, or maybe it was last. I don't know. Troy tried to do the same thing last year, and I was like, "No, don't touch that."
Yeah, no, he did that a lot last year. But no, I remember we went to commercial. And you're like, "Look, when there's a goal call, I mean, you kind of read me the riot act, and now it's like, now it's like we scored. I'm waiting. Oh, you're done talking? Okay, instant replay. I'll jump in now.
I don't even say anything. I just tell him he scores, and that was all right. Go ahead, have at it.
No, and we don't. And that's the great thing. We just know each other's cadence now. It's like as soon as you stop talking and you towel off, I got a window. I'm going to jump in and jump out. It's a little harder when we do it remotely because is somebody off on timing? Is somebody's internet a little slower or whatever? But this weekend we should be on our A game. I can't wait to get back to that. I shouldn't have a voice by Sunday. And then we'll be back at it the following week for playoffs.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun time. But even when you're gone though, too, at times, right? I can do that part and break the play down, but then I'm like, it's not. I really don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get so used to doing the play, then like, I don't want to do the color commentary. I don't want to tell you why I score. That's Pete's job. Like,
well, I don't want to. I don't want to do the play-by-play, and you guys get me doing.
You know what? Everyone's got to do someone's job sometime. You might as well take the producer job next.
Well, does that mean I get the keypad or no? So
you get everything. You get a key. You get a key to the building, key to the city.
Oh, the city.
And the broadcast. You get everything.
Oh man, wow! I just want a cup of coffee. I'm not asking for a whole lot, but man. So that being said, what other information can you give anybody that's interested in any of this participating? Where can they play? What can they do? Where can they find the information to get to those questions?
Yeah, so we were both big on Facebook and Instagram. If you look up New Orleans Hockey on Facebook or Instagram, you'll go straight directly to our page. Kind of gives you a brief rundown. You see a lot of photos, videos, a lot of posts of kind of what we're doing, what's kind of the next steps. There's also, I think, a Linktree page that's kind of linked on our Instagram that kind of gives you a rundown. We have like a YouTube channel. We have a TikTok account. We're kind of not too big on that. We've used our YouTube channel to stream a lot of our adult league games that we most recently did in Biloxi. So really following us on social media is probably going to be your best bet to kind of figure out what's the new things that are coming up. You can always send us a DM on Instagram or Facebook. We respond pretty quick and kind of give you, more information on what's kind of upcoming. Since ice is kind of over now in Biloxi, the ice is up. It's gone. We don't have any more pickup hockey in Biloxi for the rest of the season until October, fingers crossed. So right now our biggest thing that we're doing is the pickup roller skates that we do down in Crescent Park. Those are on Wednesdays at 6:00. And then it's normally Saturday or Sunday. We kind of, are going to start doing a little bit better job of posting, whether it's a Saturday or Sunday at 10 a.m. Those are open to everybody. That's kind of really your best way to kind of get involved with the group. Even if you don't want to play. You just want to show up, come and watch what a Wharf roller skate is like. It's a good opportunity to meet a lot of the guys, kind of talk with different people, figure out where people are from, build some connections, and then kind of build up the confidence to get the skates, come out there and enjoy it. We've had a lot of guys that have done that. A lot of guys have just come watched and kind of see what we're doing, kind of what we're up to. And then before you know it, the next skate, they're there with a pair of skates and a stick ready to go. So that's kind of one of the things that we're doing. We are about to launch a website that's going to have more of a one-stop shop to everything. It'll have a donation link because as you know, being a 501c3, we're going to be big on getting donations, sponsorships, government grants, things that we can do, from our resources to help better our case for having a facility. So yeah, you can always do that. The other thing that we do have is we have an email, which is hockey.neworleans@gmail.com. You can always email us with any ideas, anything that you want to help with. If you have contacts with people who are real estate agents, you have contacts with people who are potential investors, people who just want to have something, maybe a piece of the pie with all of this, feel free to reach out to us. One thing about our group is that we're never going to turn down help. When you don't have something currently, beggars can't be choosers. All right. You have to allow as much help as you can to get this off the ground. So anybody that's out there that's listening that finds out more about us, feel free, reach out. We're willing to work with you and see what we can do to work together. Because like I told you earlier, it takes a village. This is not going to be a one-man operation. It's not even going to be a two-man operation. It's going to be a multiple people operation. It's going to have to require a lot of people pulling their own weight. And so that's what we're doing. That's what we're advocating for. Come and join us. Come experience what this is all about. Hey, come crack a beer with us. Pete, you've been out there, man. We have a good time. We play a lot of hockey, crack some beers, kick back, talk about whatever, and just enjoy ourselves. Because we look at ourselves as a family. Because like I said, when you have nothing, when there is no facility, there is no defined league or anything that's set up over here, a lot of guys buy in with a different mindset. I played hockey a lot of different places and have been a part of a lot of other organizations before. New Orleans hockey is a one of one. It's very different. These guys are willing to help you. They're willing to give you all the, the tips and the pointers that you want, and they're also willing to be patient with you. That we all know that we're hockey players. We know that it's hard to be patient with new people that are learning the sport. Very, very, very hard. So that's something that our group prides ourselves in, is that no matter who you are, no matter what background you came from, come and enjoy this sport with us. Let's grow this together. And then, hey, the rest is going to be history. It really is. I think the hardest part of all this is over. We've done the hardest part, and that was actually making the group and building the foundation, getting guys to show up, getting guys to drive to Houston, getting guys to go to Nashville, getting guys to show up to the youth clinic. We did all that. That's complete. That's some of the hardest stuff you could ever do. The rest of it, I think we're at the top now. And then we're just going to ride the rest of the roller coaster down after this, once that one domino falls. So I think whoever wants to reach out, whoever wants to do anything that they can to help out, we are willing and ready to listen to what you have to bring to the table. Because we've done too much work over the last 5 to 6 years. And I say it is a we. This would not be possible if it wasn't for all those guys that show up, all those guys that buy the merch like this, or buy our jerseys, or, say, hey, tell their wife or their girlfriend that, hey, guess what? I'm going to play hockey with the boys for the weekend. Those guys sacrifice things. And I think that they deserve something to call home, something their own, so whatever anybody can do to help, hey, we are here ready to listen.
Yeah, they can either get a hold of you guys, or they can even, if they message me too, that's fine. I've got enough outlets, and we got enough people, and I'll always put it on all my stuff too, and I will get those to the direct, absolute proper channels that they need to go to, and get everything situated. But Joseph, you got anything else, bud?
Nope. I was gonna say though, I'm gonna have to get on out of here though, because I do got to get ready to come see you. Unfortunately, well, not tomorrow, but I'll see you Friday. But I will be in Louisiana tomorrow. That is.
Is it on?
Just messing.
We'll get to throw some blow pops this week and everything, and interact with the fans as always, and and before you
happen, they might stop that. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. But before you leave as well, Ethan, you touched on going to Houston and some other places. Tournament hockey coming to New Orleans anytime soon?
We got something in the works. let's just say there's a project that we're working on to host a tournament in New Orleans.
Ooh, Pete, tell me when.
Yeah.
Oh, I will. Trust me. There's a lot of people will know. We'll know from coast to coast. We'll get some stuff.
Let's just say that there's a whole rink sitting in a trailer somewhere that is waiting to be put down somewhere. But we've got a lot of connections with a lot of other avenues right now, and I think that we need something. We need a proof of concept. We need to have something that people can see, and I think we're about to do something big. So something's coming.
Anything else from you, Ethan?
That's it. No, Pete, I appreciate you guys, Pete and Joseph. Best of luck, this weekend. I hope you guys, I hope the organization brings home a championship for Louisiana. I think that'd be huge for what we're trying to do as well for the state of hockey in Louisiana. I think it'd be really massive. So I'm wishing the best of luck to the organization. Hopefully they pull through and bring a trophy back home.
Yeah, I'd be looking for a ring myself. How about partner?
Yeah, we'll see what happens this weekend. First place on the line, it's going to be a really, really fun weekend of hockey. And like I said, I'm ready to get back and throwing some of the lollipops out in the stands, eating during the intermission. That's always so much fun. So I can't wait. We'll see you on Friday. We'll go do our usual thing, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'll do the selfless plug too. You can catch me tomorrow on the Coaches Show on 103 Rocks. You can find that online or on the app. You can download that from the App Store. Apple Store. I don't have Apple, but whatever their store is, and
Android guy.
Yeah, I'm still an Android guy. So's Joe. Joe's an Android guy. Also, our games this weekend. Let's see what else we got. I'll be doing a radio show 103 Rocks on Friday morning, and then our games on YouTube. Right, YouTube KNOE. Are we on Golf Sports this week? Yeah, we should be. I think Pelicans are done. We might be at Golf Sports this weekend as well, so we're gonna be all over the place. But you can always catch us on YouTube. Monroe Moccasins.
Sunday and Friday, so probably Saturday we'll be on. I would assume because they play the Celtics on 4:30. 4:30, 5:36, maybe.
No, maybe
after. I don't know, but definitely Saturday.
Doesn't matter. We'll be on YouTube. But either way, catch us on that. It's gonna be for first place, and hopefully. We grabbed that. We got first, home ice throughout the entire playoffs, which would be fun. But that being said, that's all for this edition of Hockey Time Down South. Thank everybody for listening. This will be put up on Spotify at some point as well. So listening on Pete Fricano Media, watching on Pete Fricano Media, Hockey Time Down South on YouTube, my personal page. It's all over the place. For the New Orleans Hockey Group, my partner Joseph Furtado, I'm Pete Fricano saying good night from the Big Easy.